hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Pocket with Joe. Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, November 26th. I'm Joe. You can find me on all social media, Jo Madden Sports. It's time to Pucket. It's time for Pucket with Joe. Now, yesterday, crazy game. One game out there on the ice, and we did see the Dallas Stars. Wow, 4 goals in the first period, just destroying the Edmonton Oilers, winning that 8-3. Connor McDavid didn't get us a power play point, but we did get the power play point with Jason Robinson. So hopefully you guys were rolling with that. Also got the over 6.5 easily. The Dallas Stars went over that total themselves. So it was a solid day out there on the ice, even though we didn't get Edmonton for the win. I wasn't buying Dallas with those defensive issues, but just proving that the Edmonton Oilers really need to do something about goaltending out there. They need to find a way to either give more protection to Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickett, or they need to think about changes. Now they've given them a deadline. They are talking that maybe trades will happen with goaltending, but who are they going to get? I thought they should have gone after Carter Hart. He went to Vegas, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with Edmonton, but happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Matt. Good to see you here. We're going to jump into all of these games today. Again, if you can't stick around for the full show, you come back. I will put those bookmarks up so you can skip to the one game that you have circled, also doing the recap at the end of the show. So make sure you do stay tuned for that. 15 games to go over. We're going to go over these games as quickly, as easily, and as painlessly as possible. Hopefully you guys don't find it painful being here, but we're going to kick it off with the Flyers and the Panthers. The Panthers given the start here to Bobrovsky. The Philadelphia Flyers starting Dan Vladar. You can tell I've talked too much when those words just don't come out. It's been a busy day, you guys, thus far. Total of 5.5 in this one, minus 110 to either side of that 5.5. The Florida Panthers are laying minus 176 on the money line, plus 146 here for the Flyers. Now, I do think the Florida Panthers are the right side to be on. They're off a win versus the Predators on Monday, 8-3. They're the Flames on deck here at home on Friday. When we look at the Flyers, they're off a loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, getting shut out Monday night, 3-0. They're at the Lightning on Friday, the Devils on Saturday. So I do think it's a hard scheduling spot for them. This team has been so inconsistent on the season that I can't back them, even though we are getting great plus money. We know the playmakers out there. Owen Tippett has been fantastic, and there's a ton of different guys that you could circle here. But I look at Florida's ability to lock down defensively. I don't think the Flyers are going to have those rush opportunities, and I don't think they'll easily move this puck through the neutral zone. I think Bobrovsky can do enough to get them the win. Instead of looking for the full game here, everyone wants to get ready for their Thanksgiving plans. And I do caution you guys with these Wednesday games before Thanksgiving. You got to be cautious of them, as well as the Friday ones coming out of Thanksgiving as well. But I'm going to look at the Florida Panthers first period. We're going to look at them on the puck line in the first period, laying a half goal at plus 148. Now, it's a great plus money here, and I do think coming in off their last win, they're going to have that motivation to start this game. A strong team at home as well, sitting 8-3-1 at home this season. So give me the Florida Panthers first period puck line, and then I'll be done with that game. Next up, you guys, we have the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kev, good to see you here. Happy hump day to you too. I hope your day is going wonderful so far. You've been cashing on those tickets. Kev always dropping below the videos what he's liking out there. Make sure you always check those comments below. So many of you making some great money with either some suggestions here from the chat or things that you were liking prior to this video. So love where you guys are going. Love to see you guys all making money. the Buffalo Sabres and the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is going to be a great one, you guys. At first, I really wanted to find a way to bet the Pittsburgh Penguins. I love their power play out here. Tristan Jarry confirmed between the pipes and Lankigan here for the Buffalo Sabres. Now, the Sabres have been on fire, and they have the best kill in the league. So the power play versus the kill, you're going to see which one has more strength. I do think the Penguins try to limit their time in the box. They won't allow Buffalo that many opportunities, but Buffalo will make mistakes out there. They will get those kill opportunities, but I do think at the end of the day, you got to look at Buffalo. Now, the lines have been floating around, so I'm actually really interested to see where they've gone in the last 20 minutes since I last looked at this line. We are seeing right now Buffalo at -102. -118 for the Penguins and a total 6.5. So we've seen the Sabres go from like a +110 dog to -110 pick 'em to now -102. So it's really floating around money going back and forth with this game. That total sat solid at 6.5. I do think you look for both of these teams to start off with a bang. I've got the Sabres to win it. I think they can pull off the upset here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's lost their last two. They had the overtime versus Seattle. They lost that one Saturday 3-2. And you look at the limited times they've played over the last month because of that trip over to Sweden. So I do think this one, they play a solid game, but Buffalo squeaks out the win. This is a one-off road game for the Sabres. So normally something I don't love, but they beat the Canes on Sunday 4-1. They have every ability to come out strong here on the road. First period money line also, I think, is another way to go with the Buffalo Sabres. You can get them first period a money line, and they have won the last 4 first periods on the money line versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we've seen that. We've seen that come into play. Now, we have seen the Penguins strong off of overtime, 6-0 on that puck line. But I tell you, some of those cases, they were the dog. I think the only way I can bet it is the Sabres full game money line, Sabres first period money line, or the over 1.5. I do think don't bet both. I expect either 1 or 2 goals here in this first period. I do think the Penguins have the ability to interact. We've just seen those trends with the Sabres getting up fast, and the Penguins have been struggling to light the lamp. So I could see, Buffalo get up first. They could get 2 goals though. So the over 1.5 goals will be in play for me instead of the both teams to score, but it's the Sabres, and then Sabres. I like their team total as well, you guys. Over 3.5 goals at +138. I think if I was going to play only one bet, it would be the Sabres team total over 3.5 goals at +138. 1, because we're getting plus money, and 2, because I like this ability of this team to light that lamp. We look at Tage Thompson, and Tage Thompson, you guys, has been absolutely fire for them out here. He has, 5 goals and 2 assists. Rasmus Dahlin, 7 assists on this 5-game streak that they've been on. So in the last 5 games, just rolling hot. They're 4 points outside of a playoff spot. So I definitely think you want to circle them here tonight. Who's the best for 2+ goals? 15 games. There's got to be one out there. Aaron, there absolutely has to be someone out there for 2+ goals. So as we go over today's slate, we're going to get to that. There's a couple matchups that I think are going to be a little bit lower scoring than I would have expected them to be if we weren't going into Thanksgiving. I think some of these games, I would probably look, if you're going to look at one of these games for those goals to come in, it could be Tage Thompson here for the Buffalo Sabres. He has been flying out there on the ice, and I think he has every ability to really come out strong. I'm going to stay off Winnipeg's. We know they've got so many playmakers, but it's going to be hard here with the Washington Capitals. So I want to look at the 2+ points in that one. Kucherov, there's no denying him out there for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We could see Kucherov get a couple of points for us for sure. And then Toronto versus Columbus. That's going to be another high-scoring game, I do think. We know Austin Matthews still out of the lineup. John Tavares is really firing at will for them. And then Morgan Geekie of the Boston Bruins, you guys. Morgan Geekie of the Boston Bruins has been on fire. Problem is Sorokin has been standing so solid between the pipes. We've seen the Islanders revert to more of a defensive style of hockey. Maybe go big. Maybe go Connor Bedard of the Chicago Blackhawks. I do think Chicago is able to get the win over the Wild today. We know the Wild's inconsistencies out there, and we got a home dog in the Chicago Blackhawks. I do think Connor Bedard would be a solid way to look. But we'll get back into more of that, you guys, at the end of the show. I also think Anaheim's in for a big day. So Dylan Gunther out there could have a nice one. So lots of opportunities to go for the 2+ points. Again, we'll go over it all in more detail at the end of the show after we do the recap. So if you can't hang around, make sure you do come back for that recap. So we left off with the Sabres, and more of the Sabres. There you go. Tage Thompson at plus 800. Let's frickin' go, Aaron. That's for sure. Yeah, it is a huge slate today. I prefer the days where we have 8 games, not going to lie, but when we have 15 games, there's plenty of opportunities for us to jump in on some of these games. So let's move on to the next one here. We're going to look at the New York Rangers. Yeah, it's time for the New York Rangers versus the Carolina Hurricanes. So the Hurricanes, a large favorite in this one. They are rolling in at minus 194. The New York Rangers at plus 160. Rangers, good for them. They're not at home in this one, which is always a strong suit. They were able to get a win in their last home game, though, versus the St. Louis Blues. We got a total of 5.5. It's minus 122 to the over 5.5. You're looking at that under coming in at plus 100. And I'm going to isolate the Rangers team total in this, you guys. You got Igor Shesterkin versus Frederik Andersen between the pipes. Now, Carolina is off a loss to the Sabres on the road on Monday night, 4-1. They got the Jets on Friday. We're looking at a Rangers team, again, off that win versus the St. Louis Blues. They're at the Bruins on Friday. So they're out here on the road for Thanksgiving. This team's only averaging 2.5 goals per game. But we're looking at a Carolina Hurricanes team that's only allowing 25.7 shots on goal with Andersen between the pipes. As long as we don't see Carolina take useless penalties and we see the conversion on the power play that's only converting 20% of the time for the Rangers, I do think we see the Rangers stay under the 2.5. Both of these teams really have been trending to that under. The last time these teams matched up, the Canes were able to walk away with a 3-0 win. And both teams really have shown us that they can grind out these games. The Rangers do have a kill of 79.7%, holding opponents to 28.3 shots on goal per game. Both trending strongly to that under as of late as well. So it's got to be the Rangers team total under 2.5 goals. I know 2.5 is really hard to bet, but I do think it comes and pays us. Again, it's juicy at minus 124. We have seen Carolina win the last 5 meetings and cover the puck line in the last 4 versus the Rangers. So if you want to look here at the Carolina Hurricanes at puck line, it's just not enough value for me. Laying 1.5 at plus 130 in a low scoring game. I do think this is a 3-2 at worst. 2-1 style game here for Carolina getting the win. So the 2-1, of course, they don't cover that puck line. So I'd be nervous with the puck line tonight in this matchup, but I do think the Canes walk away with the win and we stay under the 5.5. The under 5.5 is getting you at plus 100. So I do think it's a nice way to go. You're getting plus money. I'd stay off player props because of it. But if you're looking at Mika Zibanejad, he has been strong versus the Metro division. This is a battle of the Metro. Don't forget, the Rangers sitting 8th, the Carolina Hurricanes sitting first. They want to flex. They want to show why they're the first team. They're going to lock down on the defensive side of things. And the Carolina Hurricanes are not good on that power play. Their power play conversion is only 14%. So it's kind of crazy how this team's averaging 3.5 goals per game. 33.7 shots on goal. So it's dangerous, right? We need Igor Shesterkin to stand on his head for the full game to go under the total. And that's why looking at the Rangers team total under the 2.5, it makes way more sense for me at minus 124. Okay. Next game, we have the St. Louis Blues taking on the New Jersey Devils. Now, the New Jersey Devils are a favorite at home in this one. We talk about the Rangers. We talk about their inconsistencies at home. The Devils are the exact opposite. The Devils are so solid at home this season. Now, they're only a minus 137 favorite on the money line at home. I know. I don't love that price. You guys know my tolerance goes up to like about minus 144. Still, I don't love bets at that high, and I don't love it here at minus 137, but I couldn't take the St. Louis Blues to pull off an upset, especially when you're only getting them at plus 114 when the Devils have that ability at home. Now, we know Jack Hughes still out of this lineup, but you've still got playmakers like Timo Meier, and I do think he's going to step up big. We got a total of 5.5 in this one, and it is minus 110 to either side. Jordan Binnington between the pipes here. for St. Louis and Jacob Markstrom for the New Jersey Devils. Now, the St. Louis Blues rolling in off a loss to the Rangers on the road, 3-2. They have the Sens on Friday, the Mammoth on Saturday. So there's a lot of teams that play Friday and Saturday. Guys, I was kind of shocked with that. When we look at the Devils, they're off a win versus the Red Wings, 4-3 on Monday night at home. The Sabres on Friday and then home on Saturday to face the Flyers. So they're playing here at home. Friday, they got to be out on the road. And then Saturday, they're back at home. Hard scheduling spot ahead of them, but I do think they get the win here at home. 8-0-1 at home on the season, and overall sitting 14-7-1. Now, one thing to note, if you do like the Devils but don't want to lay the -137, and I'm kind of like on the edge of my seat, whether I get to the window right away with the money line or wait for that first period to start and look for that juice to drop. We have seen here the St. Louis Blues, they won the last 4 periods as road dogs. Can the St. Louis Blues come out and net us a goal first? Is it worth waiting? Well, -137, I told you, I don't love that money line price. If you can find a better number than -137, obviously jump on it. But we don't have to bet every game, and we don't have to bet every game. I'm thinking here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Devils only if St. Louis goes up first. If St. Louis goes up first and then the New Jersey Devils on that money line, they should come in, even if at -110 at the worst. I'm guessing they're going to be plus money when the St. Louis Blues go up first. So then I want to come back in on the Devils at plus money. I think live betting, having those strategies going into these games, knowing you don't have to bet every game, right? We got a 15-game slate. You don't have to have bets on all of them. But knowing if you do want to live bet it, what you're waiting to see. I do think the Devils get the win. I don't like the price on them. I'm hoping St. Louis scores first. It's just like football. Go in with those game plans for your live betting strategies, you guys, and it can definitely make you some money. Now, the Devils on that puck line, I'd be very nervous about. They've gone 0-9 on the puck line in their last 9 as a favorite. They've won the last 6 versus the Central, though, so as a favorite. So they have had that strength. But I tell you, that puck line would terrify me tonight. I'm not sure they buck that trend, but I definitely want to have the Devils on the money line when we get a better price if it happens. If not, I'm not in this game. Timo Meier has scored the first goal in 3 of the Devils' last 4 games as a favorite. On the other side here, Cam Fowler, kind of interesting to look at for the goal. He's been getting those opportunities, you guys. He's plus 800, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Eugene Kane, second period puck line, laying half a goal plus 124, and the Rangers team total under. Yeah, I like the Rangers team total to the under. I think it's a really solid bet in that game. We're going to move on. We got to fly. You guys, there's so many games on deck today. The Washington Capitals are at home, and they're a favorite over the Winnipeg Jets. Now, the Winnipeg Jets are a plus 125 underdog. We've all heard the terrible news. Connor Hellebuck will be out for a while. The Winnipeg Jets are going to have to stay above water until he gets back. It's going to be a hard situation now. Crombury between the pipes tonight. We're going to need Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, the big playmakers, Josh Morrissey, really step up, give that support with the goal scoring, but also the defense to step in front of the goaltending and make sure that they're not allowing everything to be fired at the net. The Capitals, -150, total 6.5. We got -114 to the under, -106 to the over. When we look at the Capitals, they're 6th in goals, averaging 3.3 goals per game and 2.65 allowed. We know the Winnipeg Jets can really lock down on the defensive side. Now, these teams kind of trending in the opposite direction. The Capitals have won 4 of their last 5, while the Winnipeg Jets are 4-6 in their last 10 and really need to bring everything they have right now. Now, I think the under 6.5 is in play. I'm going to look for defense to step up on both sides. I expect this to be a strong battle, strong hitting game out there. And I do think the Capitals, though, should be able to come out and get that first period goal and be able to cover the puck line in the first period. It's something that always makes us money with the Washington Capitals. First period puck line, laying the half a goal at plus 150, and then get out of the game unless you're also rolling with the under 6.5 with me. The under 6.5 coming in at -114. And then again, the Capitals on that puck line first period coming in at plus 150. Now, we have seen the Winnipeg Jets lose their last 6 games as a dog, but they've been able to cover that puck line in their last 6 versus the Metro. I do think this is kind of like that 3-2 style battle out there on the ice. I don't see it being a high scoring one. I don't think we're in jeopardy of that. Because of that, I'm not going to look at any player props, but just want to give you those numbers in case you guys are looking for it. Tom Wilson is first on the Capitals in goals with 12, and he's got 23 points. When we look at Josh Morrissey there for the Winnipeg Jets, he scored at least 1 goal in each of the Jets' last 2 versus the Capitals. So that is your trend, looking at Josh Morrissey to continue to score on this team. Kyle Connor has been lighting the lamp with 11 goals and 14 assists this season. And he's really, though, it's interesting. So he's being solid, but we're not seeing him generating those second chance shots. Not getting a lot of shots per game. So be very careful with his shots on goal. Mark Scheifele is leading this team in assists with 17 and 28 points thus far for the Winnipeg Jets. So those are your playmakers if you want to do anything with them. Again, I'm looking at the under, so I'm going to stay off. Let's move into the Calgary Flames versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Both of these teams coming off wins. How many times can we say that as a Calgary fan, right? Calgary's a plus 152 underdog. The Tampa Bay Lightning a minus 184 favorite, and the total sitting at 5.5. Now the 5.5 juice to the over at minus 122. Dustin Wolf versus Andre Vasilevsky. Calgary averaging 2.38 goals per game. But we look at their last 3 games that they've won. They've been able to net 14 goals in the last 3. So they've been really stepping up offensively. We know Tampa, offensive-minded team. They've been cooking, but their defense, wow. Their defense has been on point as of late. This is something I was expecting. Their kill is the second best in the league at 87.5%. Now, if Calgary can stay out of the box, they have every opportunity of pulling off some sort of upset. They got to be disciplined out there to be able to do so. Can Calgary be disciplined going into the Thanksgiving break? We will see. Their kill is 18th in the league at 80.2%, so they can't take any of those chances. So they're coming off that 5-2 win versus the Vancouver Canucks. 3 wins in a row. 4 wins in a row for the Tampa Bay Lightning. One of their win streaks is coming to an end. Their last win was over the Flyers, 3-0 in that last one. So Braden Point currently listed day-to-day. Now, the problem with Tampa and the frustration you have when you're watching these games and you're expecting them to get the win, they're breaking down and turning over the puck as they exit zone. So they're having those struggles exiting the zone cleanly. And if Calgary can come with that strong forecheck, they have every possibility of pulling off this upset. I expect some chaos out there. I expect penalties on both sides. I'm going to take this one over the 6.5. I think this is a 4-3 style win, probably for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But again, it is minus 184, so I can't touch it. Could we get a 4-2 game here and us still go over the 5.5? Yeah, we absolutely can. So if you only think Calgary's getting 2 goals, if you think Tampa can get 4, you still go over the 5.5. I think either way that you play this one, you take the over 5.5 at minus 122. If you want to isolate Tampa's team total, I don't blame you because Calgary has had those struggles. Seeing them win their last 3 games has been great, but we know that will come to an end at some point. This team is in a rebuild stage. They have covered the puck line in their last 5 games as a dog, though, so they're not really getting blown out of the water by teams. We saw that when they faced Winnipeg at home, pushing that 1-2 overtime and then a shootout. So I'd be cautious with Tampa on that puck line. If you think it goes over because of the empty netter, it's like a 3-2 situation. That's where, you could see that puck line being covered, but I'd probably rather just take it, again, over the 5.5. Rasmus Andersson has been strong for the Flames. He's scored a goal in 3 of the last 4 games out there on the road. Brandon Hagel, wow, 7 points in the last 2 here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The points are coming. And then I talked about Nikita Kucherov. You can take his anytime point. It's gross. It's minus 160, but he's going to get there. 2+ points. Definitely somewhere you want to go. Nazem Kadri has 4 goals and 14 assists, so he has been strong for the Calgary Flames as well. Okay, jumping into the next game. New York Rangers money line. You're getting the Rangers out there on the road to pull off the upset. Best of luck to you, Irish King, tonight. The Toronto Maple Leafs They will be taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is a pick of -110 either way. Again, lines that have been fluctuating all day. This total sitting at 6.5, -114 to the over. Joseph Wall versus Jet Greaves is your goaltending matchup. Toronto still without Austin Matthews. Now, the Columbus Blue Jackets are allowing the third most shots on net in the league. And they're going to have to be careful tonight because Toronto has still the playmakers with Nylander and all of their other guys out there. So, and Tavares, right? There's so many playmakers for the Toronto Maple Leafs that we're going to see Jet Greaves really be under fire. Now, both of these teams have lost their last two, so they're going to be looking to get in the win column as well. We've seen Toronto lose that last game to Montreal 5-2. They will be at the Capitals on Friday. They're at the Penguins on Saturday, at the Panthers on Tuesday, and at the Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday. You guys, it's a brutal schedule. So they come off Montreal. Now they've got the Columbus Blue Jackets, who they might look past. But then they've got the Capitals, the Penguins, the Panthers, and then the Carolina Hurricanes. For me, this is a spot where Columbus should be able to pull it off. Catch Toronto looking for that Thanksgiving break, knowing that they're back out on the road on Friday versus the Washington Capitals. I think we see Columbus get the win here at home. Straight pick of -110. Now, Columbus, though, has lost their last two. Monday, they lost out there on the road to the Capitals 5-1. They're versus the Penguins at home on Friday, so they don't have to get out there on the road. Both teams have defensive issues, though, and I do think you're better off than taking a side. I do lean to Columbus, but I think you're better off taking the over 6.5, 4-3 style win. It's -114 to the over. I also love, and I absolutely love, you guys know I'm always looking for that plus money, and I do think if you want to look for plus money, you look at the first period, both teams to score in the first period is coming in at +134. The over 1.5 is -158. You know we can't touch that. You guys, I'm always looking for the positive. We could go 1-2 on the night. If we get positive ROI on that one bet and it gives us more money at the end of the day than what we lost on the other two, that's what I'm searching for. I'm not going to come out here and give you take these favorites on the money line and let's just roll the dice. I'm not going to give you the -150 favorites and tell you to bet those. It's just not my style. I'm always looking for that positive return on investment. That's where we're going to go. So the first period over at 1.5 at +134. If you want to put a half unit on the over 1.5 at -158, and then the other half on both teams to score at +134, okay, I don't blame you there. You're going to even that out a little bit more, but I don't think you need it. I would rather just take the both teams to score in the first period at +134. You can also look at this one over 6.5, because like I said, I do think we finished this game 4-3. So the over 6.5 is -114 as well. The last time these teams matched up, though, November 20th, Columbus got the win in a 3-2 low scoring game. I just don't see it being that low scoring game in this one. Now, we have seen the Columbus Blue Jackets thrive as a favorite, winning their last 15 games in that favorite role. Again, the lines have moved. They were a favorite going into this, but they failed to cover that puck line in the last four as a favorite. Again, I'm looking at John Tavares to come out strong, William Nylander to come out strong for Toronto in this one. As for the Columbus Blue Jackets, there's a lot of playmakers that we can look at in this one. And I do think this is a game you have the ability to be able to get those goals on the board out of these guys. Adam Fantilli, Monahan would be your automatic looks for me for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I do think they have the strength to get in there. Okay, so let's move on to the next game. We have the Boston Bruins taking on the New York Islanders. Jamie Benn to light the lamp at +500 Vegas Vixen. Okay, I see a Vegas Vixen. Jamie Benn to light that lamp at +500. Solid way to go. I can't believe they're giving you that much plus money. Boston versus New York versus the Islanders. The Boston Bruins, the dog at +134. The Isles coming in at +162 total. This one, 5.5. The under 5.5, hold your breath, you guys. That's where we're going to go. It's +110. The over is juice. I can't see this one going over the total. You got Swayman versus Sorokin. Like I said at the start of the show today, the Isles have found a way to start locking down defensively, playing more to those unders like we're used to out of this team. Now, Boston coming off that loss to the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks made us money on Sunday. The Sharks won 3-1. Boston took the L. Boston will be back home on Friday versus the Rangers. The Red Wings on Saturday. So they got the back-to-back situation loading after American Thanksgiving. We're looking at an Isles team that's coming off the 1-0 win over the Seattle Kraken on Sunday. They've got the Flyers on Friday, then the Capitals on Sunday. They won 3 of their past 4, including the win over the Dallas Stars. This team has been playing hot. While Boston has lost 3 of their last 4, dealing with injuries out here. The last time these teams matched up, we did see Boston get a 4-3 win. I expect this one to stay under the 5.5. Give me that at plus 110. Hold my freaking breath. I tell you, we get 4 goals in that first period. I will be crying, you guys. But both these teams trending right now to that under. And I do think that's the way it goes. Look for Sorokin to have a good day. Now, if anyone's scoring for Boston, guess who it is? Morgan Geekie. He scored at least 1 goal in 5 of the Bruins' last 6 road games. He's been great. 33 goals last season, you guys. He's coming in already at this point, November 26th, with 17 goals. Tied with, guess who? Nathan McKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche for the most goals across the league. Morgan Geekie has been just on fire this season, and I would look for him to continue if anyone's scoring for Boston. Let's see what Sorokin's able to do tonight. Could the Rangers get a 2-0 shutout win because of an empty netter? I can see it, you guys. I feel like we got such a low-scoring game in this one. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Vegas Vixen. He's already cashed the plus 500 on Ben last night to hit his 400th in the standalone game. I love where you're going, Vegas Vixen. You found a new market on DK just to bet the teams to get the power play goal. Okay. Took Vegas at minus 120. Also Hart and Dora Fifth. Power play point at plus 270 and plus 290. That's really interesting to see that they are allowing you just to get a power play goal and you're not having to isolate the playmaker for that power play goal. I love that. You guys, if you're seeing that on other books, let me know. We know the prop market is crazy across these books. They open up so many markets. They take them, they move them all over, they disappear, they come back. I've never seen that one before. So I'm excited for that, especially when we've seen some of these teams really converting at a high rate. Minus 120 for power play point, kind of juicy, but it's going to cash when you're looking at these teams that have the ability on the power play versus a team that takes a lot of penalties. So great way to go for sure. Yeah, that is very, very true. So I love where you're going at minus 120. It makes sense, especially with how weak they are on the kill. So when you got a team that's weak on the kill, weaker goaltending, and you have a team that's elite on that power play, and a team that's scrappy like the Senators who take a ton of penalties, it completely makes sense, you guys. Vegas Vixen bringing that heat. Let's move on to the next game. We have next the Nashville Predators versus the Detroit Red Wings. Saros versus Cam Talbot. The Nashville Predators, you got to feel for them. They've lost 8 of their last 9. That only win coming in OT in Sweden versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are struggling right now, and they completely struggle on the road. 1-5-2 on the road this season. Faith in the Detroit Red Wings team, 8-4-1 at home. I do think the Red Wings have every ability to get the win. Now, here's another thing. The Red Wings have struggled in the first period. They have lost their last 4 first periods. So if you do think the Preds have what it takes to come out strong in the first period, you can come back in on the Red Wings at a nicer price. Just trying to find the lines. Again, there's 15 games on deck. See, it's minus 152 for the Red Wings. We can't bet that going in. This is another game where I'm not betting it unless the Preds score first. I can come back in on the Red Wings. If I miss betting this game, then so be it. I'd rather miss betting this game than get I can't even touch it. It's not even a consideration at minus 152 on the money line. So I would be careful with this one. But if the Preds score first, I'd come back in on the Red Wings. Again, the Preds have lost their last 4 first periods. One thing to note. Jonathan Marchessault has scored at least 1 goal in 4 of his last 6 versus the Red Wings. So if you're looking for someone for the Predators to step up, I would look at Jonathan Marchessault for that anytime goal. I think he's going to come out strong in this game. He should be able to score on Cam Talbot. but that would be the only player prop I would be looking to play in this one. The next game we do have the Minnesota Wild taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. And I tell you, I got to bet Chicago here at home. Plus 112 underdogs. We got minus 134 for the Wild. Total 5.5. 5.5 juice to the over at minus 120. I am looking for this Chicago Blackhawks team to come out so strong in this game before Thanksgiving. You've got Connor Bedard for the anytime goal at plus 160. Tyler Bertuzzi at plus 250. And I do think both of them light that lamp. Now, on the Wild side, we know Kaprizov and Matt Boldy, their strength out there on the ice. But I got to look at Chicago to get things done. I don't think that the Minnesota Wild will score a bunch in this game. We could see this being a 4-3 style win for Chicago. I could also see it being a 4-2 as long as Chicago doesn't take a lot of penalties, because we know the Wild's inconsistencies offensively have come on the 5-on-5. They have been scoring on that power play. So look for Chicago to do enough, get this win, get us at plus money. Spencer Knight between the pipes. They're 5-0 on the puck line at home as a dog. So if they do go down first, you guys, at this point, going into the game, plus 1.5 is minus 134 or minus 234. So unbettable. But if we do see the Wild go up coming into this, you're going to get the Chicago Blackhawks plus 1.5 at like minus 120. And I do think that would be a solid way to bet them in this game. Yeah, they have been really strong playing in Chicago, but Vegas Vixen, I got a feeling, going into Thanksgiving, I think it's a really hard spot for some of these teams. And I think the Wild are in one of those hard spots. They're ready to get home. And I think Chicago just has more umph right now, especially with Connor Bedard and everything we've been seeing out of him. So best of luck, whichever way. Again, not my favorite game on deck. You know what game I do like? The Chicago or the San Jose Sharks versus the Colorado Avalanche. This is your biggest dog of the day. The San Jose Sharks at plus 310. The Colorado Avalanche, a $4 favorite. No way, you guys. Laying 1.5. It's almost minus 160 for Colorado. The Sharks, are they barking? Plus 1.5 at plus 128. Sign me up. Plus 310 on the money line. Sign me up. There's just too much value here on the Sharks. Now, Colorado is a better team. I absolutely agree. But you look at what Macklin Celebrini's doing. He is going to get up for this game. Macklin Celebrini against Nathan MacKinnon. 2+ points for both of these guys today. Nathan MacKinnon's going to want to show up the young rookie, and Celebrini's going to want to show up the vet. That is for sure. This is going to be a game in which I think both of these guys get some nice breakout shots on net. It will just come down to who is able to convert those goals. Blackwood here for the Colorado Avalanche. We know he did play with the Sharks before. So versus his former team, we have seen this matchup already. I would look at both teams to score in the first period. Now I hear you. The Sharks have lost, the last 13 in Colorado. The Avs have won the last 4 first periods versus the Sharks. The San Jose Sharks have failed to cover the puck line in the last 6 in Colorado, so they have got blown out, but I don't see it happening in this one. There's just too much good energy coming from the bench here with the San Jose Sharks, and I think they're going to have a wild game out there in which we see that life out of them. So yeah, Tyler Bertuzzi has been fire. That is for sure. So I'm going to go with the San Jose Sharks, you guys. It's worth the chance. Give me the biggest dog on the board in hockey. That is for sure. So when we look at, and it's hard to deny, right? You pull up the roster here for Colorado. Nathan MacKinnon, Lankican, Necas, Landeskog, Kale McCarr. Like, there's no weaknesses. But you got Macklin Celebrini here, the San Jose Sharks, who's looking to make a big statement. You also got Brock Nelson of Colorado, Ross Colchin of Colorado, but then you got Will Smith of the San Jose Sharks. So I hear you guys. If you don't want to take a chance on the biggest underdog on the board, I don't blame you. Again, you guys don't have to bet every single game out here. This is one where I'm loving to bet the Sharks tonight, though. I think they can make a push in this one. If you don't want to go Sharks straight up money line, for even a half unit, look at both teams to score in the first period. I think this game starts off hot. Maybe then we see the Sharks get desperate and things go crazy and the Avs just run away with this. But I do think that first period stays competitive. Both teams to score in the first period will get you great plus money. Let me just look at what it was at again. I can't remember what I got it at this morning, you guys, because I was so excited to get the Sharks on the money line in. The total goals in the first period, over 1.5, coming in at minus 150, plus 164 for both teams to score in the first period. We're also going to look at the both teams to score in the first period between the Montreal Canadiens and the Utah Mammoth. So looking at this game, this one kicking off at 9:30 Eastern. Again, that's the Montreal Canadiens versus Utah Mammoth. So lines on this one. We are seeing Montreal coming in as a plus 122 underdog. The Utah Mammoth minus 146, total of 6.5. The juice to the under at minus 124. Now, I do think both teams to score in the first period. We have seen Utah come out strong. They've won their last 4 first periods off a win. Coming in off a win off this one, and Montreal has lost their last 5 as a dog off a win. So Montreal is really having those struggles, bouncing to another win when they're a dog off a win. It's been a hard situation for them, but they have covered that puck line in their last 5 as a road dog. I'm looking for the Montreal Canadiens to trade back and forth goals in this first period. I could see this being a 2-2 first period, you guys, or a 2-1 first period for one of these teams, but both teams getting on the board. You got Josh Dobbs versus Vermalka in this one. Peterka has been really strong for the Utah Mammoth when they're at home as a favorite. He has scored a goal in 3 of their last 4 in this situation. And we know the playmakers there for Montreal. Montreal has a loaded team right now, you guys, and I do think those goals will be coming in. For Utah, Dylan Guenther, Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, Logan Cooley are your playmakers, and Peterka that I would be looking at for a combination of their points and their goals. On the other side, Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. No denying what they can do. If you're looking for one or the other for the goal, I would go Nick Suzuki for the goal at plus 180 over Cole Caulfield. But parlaying their points together, the books are going to make you lay juice now. At the start of the year, we were getting better value. Now, Damodahl still plus 300 for the anytime goal. I think he's definitely somewhere you want to look. And Noah Dobson coming in at plus 850. He takes those hard shots from the blue line. And I do think he is tempting. Kev, you're rolling with the Sharks on the money line. I freaking love it. Let's roll with the San Jose Sharks on the money line, you guys, in that one. But yeah, between Montreal and Utah, got to look at both teams to score in the first period. Looking at the both teams to score in the first period and then getting out of the game, I think is the best way to attack, especially with Thanksgiving. We're going to do that again when we look here at the next game. So we're looking at the Dallas Stars coming off the big win versus the Edmonton Oilers last night, now taking on the Seattle Kraken. The Kraken, Joey Decord between the pipes, Casey DeSmith here for Dallas. Now, second night of a back-to-back. Tired legs will come into play. Edmonton tried to fight their way back into that one, but we did see Dallas win it 8-3. They won the last 8 meetings over the Seattle Kraken, but the Seattle Kraken have covered the puck line in the last 7 versus the Central. I'll just take Dallas first period puck line, laying a half goal. Get that plus money on Dallas in the first period and be done with this game. They've won the last 5 first periods over the Kraken, so you do have the trend to back up the bet as well. Jason Robinson, I'll look at for another goal. He's been on straight fire. He's been able to get a goal in 7 straight games, scoring 11 in the last 7, you guys. We got him for the power play point last night. He got the goal as well. He has been flying out there for us. So Jason Robinson again, give me him for a goal. Give me Dallas first period puck line, laying a half a goal at plus 150, and then I'm done with this game. I don't want anything to do with it after. Live betting situation, I'm going to leave it alone. I don't love betting Kraken games. The Vancouver Canucks take on the Anaheim Ducks next. This is going to be an interesting one, you guys. I think the Ducks have every ability to get the win here at home. The problem is I don't like the price we have to pay on the Anaheim Ducks. They're a minus 160 favorite. I don't love it. Okay, plus 132 here for the Vancouver Canucks. Total 6.5. Even the 6.5, they're not giving us value. It's minus 148 over. I hate it. Look at the Ducks team total. Over 3.5 goals for the Ducks. It's the lowest juice I could find in a bet that I liked. We got the worst kill here for Vancouver. Vancouver is going to look to push the pace. especially with Quinn Hughes out there. They're going to be flying up and down the ice. But the Anaheim Ducks can fly just as fast as anyone else out there. They have a strong ability to get those chances on the rush, really pushing, and they will take on Paterka between the pipes tonight. Patera between the pipes tonight here for Vancouver. I do like what we're seeing out of the Anaheim Ducks, and I think they've won their last 7 versus the Pacific. Dylan Guenther has been great. Van Payne has been strong versus the Ducks too. This one goes over. The Ducks go over 3.5. The Ducks win, but again, it's way too juicy. You need former team player anytime goal props. Okay. Marchment anytime goal at plus 450. It's a nice way to go for sure. Yeah, just look at the Ducks team total to the over. That's the only way I was able to get like better value at minus 120 instead of minus 148 to the full game over. And then also, yeah, the Ducks on the money line. It's a hard one. The next game, the Ottawa Senators versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Last game of the night. This one, 10:10 Eastern. We've got the Ottawa Senators rolling in at plus 150. The Vegas Golden Knights at plus 182. Total 5.5. Minus 108 to the under. Minus 112 to the over. I do think here Brady Tkachuk is going to be back for their next game. This is super exciting, you guys. Brady Tkachuk getting back in the lineup for the Ottawa Senators, but not tonight. He will be back versus the Blues on Friday and then hopefully stay in it for the Stars on Sunday. We've seen Vegas lose their last 2 Monday on the road versus Utah. First game home off a 3-game road trip with Thanksgiving on deck tomorrow. They swept this series last year. I don't think they're going to take the Senators seriously. They've won their last 10 as a favorite versus the Senators, but they are 0-7 in their last 7 on the puck line. Jack Eichel's been phenomenal. Vegas, we know, is a stronger team, but give me the upset here. Yeah, 2 upsets of the night. We're going to take the Chicago Blackhawks. We're also going to take the San Jose Sharks. We're going to take the Ottawa Senators. They're plus 150. Okay, so maybe more than 2 upsets. 3 really nice upsets of the night with great plus money on some teams that can be really inconsistent defensively. So I will look here at the Ottawa Senators at plus 150. I think this team is going to bring it tonight, give Vegas everything that they have in this one. Probably stays under the 5.5. You guys, we've got a total of 5.5 with the juice, minus 110 to either side. Allmark versus Smid. Should be a good one. Look for Brady Tkachuk on his return to be flying out there on the ice. Yeah, you're going to look at him for those points, the anytime goals. That is going to be on Friday, you guys. Brady Tkachuk will be back in the lineup. He is out there traveling with the Ottawa Senators right now, which will give them the extra spark on the bench as well. So I love it. You're going to roll with the Jets on the money line. You're brave taking the Jets tonight. I'm nervous about the Jets. That is for sure. It's time to do the recap. We have talked forever. I need a sip of coffee. You guys, I think I'm on like my 4th French press of the day. Kind of getting to be an issue. I'm going to have to do a coffee detox in January. So if I'm not the nicest person in January, you'll absolutely know that I'm doing a coffee detox. I've done it I didn't do it last year, but I did it for years and years in a row where I just went off coffee for all of January. It isn't the caffeine for me that I love. It's the warmth, and I hate the taste of decaf coffee. So I need to find an alternative. And I like tea, but it's still got caffeine. So we've got to detox a little bit. Okay, recap time. I can talk. We'll get into this, you guys. If you haven't checked out everything on Betting Pros as well as Wager Talk and Picks and Parlays that I'm doing, make sure you do check it out. There's so many bets, so many videos going out there all day long for all 3 of those companies. So make sure you check it out. If you don't get enough of me here, you can spend hours watching me on all these other things on the daily. So it's just how much Joe you need. Coffee with Joe Starbucks. Yeah. Basically, I just run on freaking coffee. It is crazy. If you guys have a good alternative to coffee that's warm, it's why I like red wine over any other drinks. I don't like cold liquid. My water is always room temperature. I actually prefer it if it's just I will do a cup of hot water. So that's probably that's what I end up doing in January. But enough on that. Let's get into the recap. We're already at 49 minutes, you guys. Long show today. Recap time. You ready? I'm ready. The Philadelphia Flyers versus the Florida Panthers. Give me the Florida Panthers first period puck line laying a half goal plus 148. The Buffalo Sabres versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's all about the Sabres. Sabres team total over 3.5 goals plus 138. My favorite bet. Sabres first period money line and Sabres money line for the full game. The New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Give me the under for the Rangers team total of 2.5 at minus 124. I think they struggle here in a low scoring game. The St. Louis Blues and the New Jersey Devils. Give me the Devils to win this. Again, they're pretty juicy there on the money line. If St. Louis scores first, it will be a live betting situation for me coming back in on the Devils. The St. Louis Blues have won the last 4 periods as a road dog. They love to come out strong. I will look at Timo Meier for his points tonight for the Devils, as well as the anytime goal, and Cam Fowler worth a shot there for the St. Louis Blues. The Winnipeg Jets and the Washington Capitals. Give me the under 6.5. Give me the Capitals first period puck line laying a half goal at plus 150. Again, get in and get out on that one. Because I like it to the under, I'll stay off those player props. The Calgary Flames versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Look for craziness in this one. I expect this one to go over the 5.5. 4-3 style game between these two teams whose offenses have been really clicking as of late. Brandon Hagel for 2+ points has to make your card tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Rasmus Anderson I'll take for a goal, as well as Nazem Kadri for a point for Calgary. The Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Give me both teams to score in the first period at plus 134. The over 6.5 I do think comes into play. It's just a little juiced out there. John Tavares for the anytime goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Shane Monahan for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Boston Bruins versus the New York Islanders. I think the Islanders get the win at home, but I like better the under 5.5 in this game. If anyone's scoring, it's Morgan Geeky to stay hot here for Boston. But again, when I'm liking a lower scoring game, I'm not going to take those player props. The Nashville Predators versus the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings do, I believe, get the win here. Again, I don't like the price on the money line. Live betting situation, if Nashville goes up first, Nashville's been terrible as of late, and they've been terrible on the road. If the Red Wings go down, looking to come back in on them, or I'll pass on this game fully. It's a live betting game for me. The Minnesota Wild versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Give me the home dog here in Chicago at plus 112. Give me Connor Bedard for his point tonight. Give me Tyler Bertuzzi for his point tonight. And Tara Vinen for his point as well. I do think Chicago has a big day in this one, so I'm looking for them to be able to get the win. The San Jose Sharks versus the Colorado Avalanche. Give me both teams to score in the first period at plus 150. I'm looking for Celebrini and Nathan McKinnon both for 2+ points. Look for them both to step up big time. The Montreal Canadiens and the Utah Mammoth. Give me both teams to score in the first period at plus 150. I'm looking for this one to be a higher scoring game, back and forth, high speed out there between these two teams. So the over 6.5 as well. Give me Paterka here for a goal for the Utah Mammoth, and Nick Suzuki for the Montreal Canadiens. The Dallas Stars and the Seattle Kraken. Give me the Dallas Stars first period puck line laying half a goal at plus 140. They played last night. Tired legs could come into play, but I think Jason Robinson, before he gets tired, nets a sack goal. He's just way too hot to not trust tonight. The Vancouver Canucks and the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks, I love their ability here to get a win. Way too juiced on the money line. Again, if Vancouver goes up first, you could look at the Ducks coming back in. I'll just take the Ducks going into this over 3.5 goals at minus 125. Give me Dylan Guenther here for the anytime goal plus 170. Evander Kane on the other side for the Vancouver Canucks. I do think it's a back and forth high scoring game. The Ottawa Senators. Give me the plus money versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Plus 150 here on the Ottawa Senators. Remember, Brady Tkachuk back in the lineup on Friday versus the Blues. Take Brady Tkachuk on Friday. 2+ points, anytime goal. Can he come out and get a hattie? Yeah, versus St. Louis Blues. He has every opportunity. We're going big on Brady Tkachuk on Friday. He's not out there today. I still think Ottawa has every ability to get the win. I'm seeing your comments. Washington minus 2.5. Jets crash and burn. Oh, Irish King, we don't really want to see them crash and burn. I know. No Hellebuck. This team's going to have to try to survive it for sure. Yeah, I love it. I love room temperature water all year long. Actually, I find it better for me in the summer as well. I get really cold if I drink cold water. So, Kevin, glad to hear you're there. Colorado minus a 2.5 on Nathan McKinnon anytime goal. It should play out that way, right? But you're getting such great money on the San Jose Sharks. I can't say no. Yeah, Chicago money line and Connor Bedard anytime goal. Montreal money line, Utah no depth. Utah has some depth. Montreal, I love Montreal though. I think that's probably a solid way to go. Looking at Montreal to come out and get it. The thing is, I don't know how much I trust Dobbs. They've also lost their last 5 as a dog off of a win. They've been able to cover that puck line though. I kind of look at Utah. They have so many different playmakers out there, but I'm holding my breath. I just like both teams to score. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. 55 minutes long. If you guys could do me a solid, share this with a friend. We're trying to just push out the show here on YouTube. We're not sharing it to Instagram and X anymore, trying to get all the viewership here because I like the interaction. And I'm getting a lot of heck from people on Instagram going, you have a live show. Why aren't you talking to us? And it's actually like they've been really rude in the chat. So if any of you are here from Instagram coming over, well, no, I haven't noticed any of those names. You're not interacting here, but they were really rude in the chat how I wasn't answering them. There are questions over there. So we have moved it just onto YouTube. Maybe we might do a couple of days next week onto X to try to bring the viewership back over here. But I love you guys over here. That's for sure. Just stay coffee. Tea makes me want to brush my teeth. That's funny. What kind of tea are you drinking that you're not loving? I love all kinds of teas, that's for sure. Have a block shot parlay going tonight. Okay. Vegas Vixen, you cannot leave us without telling us that block shot market. I love the block shot market. I love those players stepping in front of the freaking puck and taking it and not allowing their goaltender to be peppered. Edmonton needs to do a heck of a lot more of that out there on the ice. We know, especially as we go deeper into the season, when these games become so meaningful for these teams down the stretch, that you see those defensemen more willing to put their bodies in front of that puck. And a lot of the books aren't offering that block shot market. I do catch it on a couple of the books. I'm reluctant to give it out here, though, you guys, because people don't like what they can't bet. If you can't bet it, you're not wanting to hear it. And so I struggle with that because I look at some of these playmakers, some of these defensemen out here, and they can get those block shots. Yeah. You gotta look at it. Vegas Vixen, I love where you're going. You've got such a great mind in hockey. I'd love to have a chat with you sometime. Great markets to go with for sure. So you guys, all the best in all of your freaking bets. Let's make some money. Happy American Thanksgiving to all my American friends out there. Happy American Thanksgiving to all of us up here in Canada that are still celebrating. Like, hands up, if you're off work for the day, you're making a turkey, you're sitting down, you're watching football all day, because I'm working for Wager Talk first thing in the morning. Make sure you join me at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be going over, it's last call, going to be going over all the games for Thursday as well as that Friday game, answering all of your questions, live interactive chat, just like here, you guys. And then I'll be making turkey, having the day off, watching football. So you guys, I hope you're doing the same. Friday, we got a loaded slate. I will be back here at 4 Pocket with Joe. Don't miss out. Tell your friends. Let's have some freaking fun. I wish you guys all the best in all of your bets. Until next time, stay hot. Let's make some freaking money.